Hey guys, welcome to our daily encounter. At the end of the section of the instructions given to Moses about the construction of the tabernacle, you have this instruction about the olives and the oil and the light. It says in Exodus chapter 27 and verse 20, "You shall charge the sons of Israel that they bring you clear oil of beaten olives for the light, to make a lamp burn continually." After describing all the various ways in which the tabernacle was to be constructed, the various materials that were to be used, he ends it with the desire for that tabernacle to be filled with light, and for that light to burn continually. But the way that the light would actually be expressed in the tabernacle is through these beaten olives. To make the oil, of course, the olives would have to be beaten, they'd have to be crushed, they'd have to be squeezed into oil. And only then would they be the fuel for the light of the tabernacle. And as we think about this in connection to Christ, we can see that the same thing was true of him. As you go and read about Christ's experience there in Gethsemane, even going through the cross, you can see that really Christ, his soul, his heart, was in a sense crushed like these olives. As a matter of fact, the word Gethsemane means the oil press. And given that it was right by the Mount of Olives, it's assumed that perhaps this Gethsemane had an oil press in which the olives were brought and were crushed there in Gethsemane. And so that would be a great picture of what happened to Christ while he was in Gethsemane. As he was pouring out his heart to the Father, as he was saying, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done." All the while he was sweating those drops of blood, kind of like an olive being squeezed. His heart was being squeezed to the point that the blood vessels in his face were bursting into blood. At Gethsemane, we see Christ as the olive being crushed into the oil. But as a result of him being crushed at Gethsemane, of him being beaten and then placed on the cross and his blood being spilled out, what happened? He became the light of the world, and he becomes the one who enlightens all of us. Through his suffering, through his experience of being crushed and being put to death, we all now have light. And as each of us become the temple of the living God, we become full of the light of Christ. And again, it's all traced back to his willingness to go to Gethsemane and be crushed, and eventually to be beaten and crucified, and to become the light of the world. And so we can see how there's a connection here, or a parallel we can make between these olives and the light at the tabernacle and Christ. But we also look at it in our own lives as well. Oftentimes, for us to become a brighter light, we have to go through some crushing. We have to go through some suffering. We have to go through some hard times as well. Oftentimes, our light shines the brightest when we go through those tough spots in life. When God puts us through the trial, our faith comes out shining and becomes brighter than before. And as a result, is able to draw more people to Christ. And the light of Christ begins to shine even brighter. And so we too can sometimes go through those crushing moments. And if we respond in faith, if we respond in trust in the Lord, if we respond holding fast to him, it can bring out a bright light that can really bring a bright light to the darkness around us and really bring glory to Christ. So as we think about these olives that were beaten, as we think about this light that was to burn continually, let's think about Christ, and let's think about ourselves as well. And these can be some things that we reflect on as we do reading today. And with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.